pivot 792 left, turn through link 44, stand
305.
London Heathrow, gateway to the world.
Heathrow is a huge melting pot.
It's one of the biggest hubs in the world.
Flying to 194 destinations in 82 countries.
Singapore, which class? It's at the front.
The size of a small city, it's Europe's busiest airport.
Expecting 45,000 passengers in the space of 1.5 hours.
As Heathrow gets ready to build its third runway, this year is said to be the airport's busiest, with more than 76 million passengers.
Next, please.
Meaning, to stay on schedule, a plane has to take off or land every 45 seconds.
We're busy all the time. It's relentless.
We're going to have trouble. We've got trouble.
Operating at full capacity, there's no room for error.
This is a disgrace.
Even the smallest problem can cause chaos.
So sweat.
And cost the airport and airlines millions of pounds in fines and lost revenue.
Every minute, every second here is money.
But working against the clock, there's an army of staff.
We're going to try our best to get you there.
From plumbers...
Starting to get that little smell of sewage now.
...to pilots.
They're just such pretty machines.
And specially trained police.
Until we've left the plane, you cannot leave the plane yourselves.
All battling to keep Britain's busiest airports flying. One of the world's biggest airports. Heathrow is the size of almost 2,000 football pitches. Its size can make it challenging for connecting passengers.
So come down this way. Right, go use the other queue as well,
Jawad is a passenger experience manager. It's his job to keep passengers flying.
Heathrow is one of the busiest hubs in the world when it comes to connecting passengers. Our connection project is so big that we have up to 24 million passengers every year.
These 24 million passengers neither start nor end their journeys at Heathrow. They pass through on connecting flights.
London Heathrow has so many destinations where they fly out to. A lot of people connect through us. And then it might not be a popular destination. There could be just one flight a day they have. And if they miss that flight, that's it. They're not going to be going on for the next 24 hours.
Jawad is on his way to meet 72 Chinese tourists who must transfer to a connecting flight to Lisbon.
Once the flight lands, the passengers will start coming up. I'm going to try and get hold of the leader first to see if they can speak English.
The clock is ticking. They only have 90 minutes to make the connection, which at Heathrow is very tight.
Lisbon? Lisbon, madam, Lisbon? Lisbon? Anyone traveling to Lisbon? Okay, there's the team leader, I think. Anyone traveling to Lisbon?
Yeah, Lisbon. I'm the tour leader for 72 people.
Okay.
Adding to the pressure, the group has to be split in two. Half are staying in Terminal 3 and the other half are flying out of Terminal 2, a mile away.
So what we need to do is we've got to make sure you get onto the right flights. Do you know you have been rebooked onto 2 different flights?
2 different flights?
Yes. Flights from 2 different terminals.
Yeah. They tell me just one. No.
No, it's 2.
It's 2.
Okay.
So this is the list we've got. Okay, so you've got this list, yeah?
Missed connections can lead to flights being delayed, and airlines can end up facing hundreds of thousands of pounds in knock-on costs.
So we've got 37 passengers going to Terminal 2, and we've got passengers flying out from Terminal 3. So it's quite confusing. I mean, I feel sorry for them, but let's see what we can do and make sure they have a smooth transition from here.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they are all with this by actually not going to the wrong gate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
no, because this lady will
don't
take
rush
them.
about it 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes more.
Yeah, but they haven't got long. They haven't got long. That's all I can say, yeah?
Yeah.
There's no excuse. He needs to get there.
Jawad needs to get the passengers moving to Terminal 2, or they risk missing their connecting flight.
fine.
Heathrow is on the front line of counter-terrorist measures. With over 200,000 passengers every day, the airport must be kept safe.
The threat to UK mainland is deemed as severe, which means an attack is highly likely. I think, sadly, this is the world that we live in now. I don't think that is ever going to change.
Around the clock, a team of police officers and sniffer dogs patrol every inch of the airport in search of explosives.
Must go find where.
Liz is a police dog handler and works at the airport with Dog Buster.
We search everywhere in the airport with the dogs, anywhere where anything could be secreted or left. Yeah, so the dogs will go absolutely everywhere in the airport.
Today, explosive materials have been hidden in the airport. Liz, Buster and colleagues Rick and Paddy must hunt them down as part of an exercise.
They will literally search and find microscopic particles of the substances they're looking for. Their receptors in their nose are just thousands and thousands of times stronger than the human nose. They will smell things that we have no chance of smelling at all.
Buster, come. Buster. Yeah. Buster is trained to find military, homemade and commercial explosives. And if anything is out of the ordinary to him, then Buster will have his own unique indication that me and him are sort of trained, that I know that that's what he's doing to alert me that there is a problem.
Yeah, but
Buster.
They're looking for drugs.
Explosives.
Explosives.
Paddy's just searching lots of bags at the moment. He's not indicating on any. He's hit the bag straight away.
Good boy. You clever boy. Good boy. Good lad.
That's because the scent picture of this explosive here has become quite large as it's been sitting there for about 5 minutes. And the noses on these dogs are so extraordinary that he's been able to pick it up instantly.
With national security on such high alert, all information related to terrorist activity is highly classified.
So I can't tell you what we've found in the past. That information is just between me and Paddy.
In Terminal 3, Jawad has 90 minutes to get a group of Chinese tourists onto 2 different connecting flights in different terminals. But they've become distracted.
So they think we're celebrities. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're happy people. Happy people. Yeah, I love this. I'm loving it. This one, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. Okay.
Despite the photography session, if the group don't leave now, they risk missing the flight.
Tap. Someone stand here.
Jawad can speak 4 languages, but Mandarin isn't one of them.
They're finding out, sir. Finding out. You stay here. Here. You stay here. Okay? They're all coming over. They're all coming over. What's happening?
Fortunately, the tour leader translates.
The concern we've got now is there's one group needs to leave now, so they haven't got very long for a flight in Terminal 2.
The first group are ready to set off.
I will call Terminal 2 to tell them they're coming, so they will make sure they get on the flight. Yeah. Okay, and they will call me. Once they're on the flight, they'll call me and I'll tell you that they're on the flight. Yeah. Okay? The flight for the 18:30, right? So they've only got about, I said, 45 minutes to get to Terminal 2, go through security, go and get to the gate. So they are quite. Yeah. Can you stand by?
The first group are finally on their way. If they don't get to Terminal 2's gate in time, they'll be sleeping at Heathrow.
George, we've got a group of 38 coming through your security now, so they should be hitting you next for a couple of minutes.
Heathrow has almost 200 gates within 4 terminals, spanning more than 2 miles, which can make fast connections difficult.
Echo 3, Oscar 7.
Jawad has sent half a Chinese tour group racing from Terminal 3 to Terminal 2. And he's hoping they make their flight.
They're already gone through security. I'm just about to reach a desk.
Oh, brilliant. That's really good then. So, yeah, we're 15 minutes ahead.
I know. So I think they're going to make it.
Well done. Thank you, Maria.
No problem.
Thank you. So, they've done it. They made it. Let me just tell the team leader.
Jawad has stayed with the second group and tour leader in Terminal 3.
Give you an update. All your staff are going through flight connections in Terminal 2. So they've got there. So they're just about to board the flight. So they're en route.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. That's the joy of working at Heathrow, because you get that fulfillment. Speaking to Tim, the team leader as well, who said that he thought Heathrow was great. And the amount of selfies I had to have, I didn't realise how popular I am. So hopefully next time you go to China, I might have my big poster on the wall, like saying, "Hey, welcome to Heathrow."
All that remains is to see the rest of the tour group onto their flight.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Nice meeting you all. Thank you very much.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide.
There are 500 miles of pipes underneath Heathrow. Looking after them tonight are water engineers Vic, Scott and John.
I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? The lightning, very, very frightening thing. Galileo, 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 making
It's almost midnight, and the team are on their way to clean Heathrow's biggest sewage pit. All the waste from Terminal 5 ends up in this single chamber, 40 feet below ground. It can hold 2 million litres of sewage, which is constantly being pumped out by 3 electrical pumps.
So it's like being in the tropics, nice and steamy, you know what I mean, not being in the jungle. There you go. Oh, my lights have arrived, now they've gone off again. They've gone off again, they're on again. That's it.
Today, Scott has drawn the short straw. It's his turn to clean the sewage pumps.
I've just been to the toilet, so I'll try and imagine it as my own. It's never as bad if it's your own brand, is it?
Shift boss James is overseeing the operation, making sure Scott will be safe in the chamber.
So we pump the pit down as far as we can, so when Scott go in, it's not too deep, it's not too hard to move around.
An alarm will sound when Scott's air supply runs low.
Right, you know, it sounds like the alarm, you hear it going off, whether it's from stage 1 or stage 2, doesn't matter, you get out, all right? On you get, we're running out of time here.
The job is done overnight, when the airport is quiet, to avoid Scott being hit by fresh sewage flowing into the chamber.
Go on free fall arrestor.
Scott has just 30 minutes of air in his tank to protect him from toxic gases. Failure to clean and maintain these pumps could mean all the waste backs up and floods Terminal 5.
Pumps look in good condition, all the pipe work, mechanical work looks in good condition. Scott's down there at the moment, he'll be coming out, and that might be it. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, that'll be the lot.
With only seconds of air left, Scott makes it out of the chamber.
That's timing. That's actually timed perfectly, as you can see. It's all finished now. Perfect. Scott's got a really good job of that.
You get a massive sense of achievement. There's a sparkling clean, there's nothing left in there now, and the pumps all turn perfectly. They're all isolated, locked off. I can spin all the impellers. It was really good. Really need to itch my nose really badly, but I just can't do it.
With flights arriving from 194 destinations, Heathrow is Britain's largest port of entry for new immigrants. Today, Syrian refugee Mohammed is waiting for his wife and 2 young children.
This moment, today, is the day I was looking for a year and a half. I've got 2 children. I left them when they were very, very young.
Last year in Britain, just over 7,000 asylum cases, like Mohammed's, were granted.
The situation in Syria was getting worse day by day. Warplanes is bombing every minute. You could be dead any moment. I had no choice but to leave my country so that I can save my 2 kids. I said I will make a better life for them in Europe. I moved through Turkey, across many Eastern European countries like Greece, Macedonia, France, and then staying in the jungle, sleeping next to the roads. After 10 days, I managed to get on a train and get down to the UK here.
After a year and a half of being apart, visas for his wife and 2 children have finally been granted.
I'm very, very happy. I waited long nights and long days to get my family to a safe country, to see them how they go to school, to live a life which is not dangerous. I left him when he was 1.5 years old. Look at him, he remembers me. You believe it?
The first ever commercial flight to take off from Heathrow was in 1946. Since then, 5 terminals have been built, and the oldest is Terminal 3.
Hi, today it's Terminal 3's 55th birthday. So in 1961, this terminal was officially opened. So during my shift, sometime when I get a break, I'm probably going to be going through this. It's how you feel when it's your birthday. So you have that special feeling when you're walking around that it's my birthday. So it's going to be that. It was going to be feeling like that.
But Jawad will have to wait to get his teeth into the cake. Something much less appealing needs his attention.
Oscar 2, Oscar 86. Okay, I'm standing in Zone G at the moment. There's a very foul smell coming. Do you know anything about it? Anything you've been faulted?
Do you know what? I was going to ask Jervis to come down with me and have a sniff around there when he comes in. The smell is horrific down there. I thought it may have been my nose or something, but if you could smell it, then I'll fault it.
Copied. It's not very pleasant for anybody, to be honest, when passengers are coming through. It's not a very good experience for them. Oh, God. This is bad. Okay.
Heathrow relies on a team of 28 water engineers who are on call 24/7 to keep the airport's plumbing in check. Today, it's John and Vic.
Going the back way? Yeah. In the back, don't we?
But finding things at Heathrow is not as easy as it sounds. Hidden 3 stories below the terminal, there's a labyrinth of pipes.
Slow up, Grandad. Really regretting those PVC underpants.
All the hot water pipes servicing Heathrow live underground. It's a stifling 40 degrees Celsius.
You don't want to spend too long down here without a break. Right now we are underneath Terminal 3 departures. So right above us is all the check-in desks. The subway almost follows the footprint of the terminal. It does a huge circle, so you can walk all the way round, and there's lots of little alleyways off it. It's quite easy to get lost. Starting to get that little smell of sewage now, just starting to permeate the air. You can obviously see there's a lot of something in the sump down here. That's coming from somewhere.
That's coming down the wall, John. That's coming through the wall.
You got your torch?
Yeah.
And basically what you've got is a little alcove up here on the right-hand side with sewage pipes coming out of it, and you can probably hear it running down the wall, and if you had smelly vision, you'd be able to appreciate the rather lovely aroma of excrement.
Until they find the source of the raw sewage leak, it continues to be a public health risk.
What's running down the wall?
Coming from above?
Yeah, it's coming from above.
I think there must be toilets or whatever on the sewage.
It's got to be, yeah.
Heathrow is not only vast on the outside, but underground as well. It's a 5 square mile maze that even people who work at the airport struggle with.
It's a case of, say, someone's just following your nose.
Water engineers John and Vic are on a mission to locate a sewage leak.
That smells a bit ripe.
Ah.
Funky.
Yes.
And their search has led them back to ground level.
Ah, look. Victor. This is a sorbent pad, which says to me, highly likely something at the back here is leaking. I can actually... I can hear water, but I think it's just assistance filling. Just have a look down there and on the right, see if there's any way round the back. Oh, hello. That's that door there, isn't it?
Yep.
Ta-da! That's blown my theory out of the water. I thought there might be a void here, but obviously isn't. It's just an emergency exit into the service corridor. I mean, these toilets are in about the right place, but I mean, there doesn't seem to be any sign around here of any leakage. You'd think it'd be coming through the wall, wouldn't you?
With a footprint of 100,000 square metres, there's still a lot of Terminal 3 for John and Vic to cover.
I think we need to be a bit more this way.
All the airlines at the airport have strict luggage policies. There's limited space, and heavy planes use more fuel and cost more to fly.
Check-in figure at the moment, 178.
In Terminal 2, customer service manager Michael is overseeing check-in for a flight to Singapore.
Morning. How are you?
This flight allows economy passengers one piece of cabin baggage, which must fit into the overhead compartment.
Singapore, which class? It's at the front. Is the machines at the front? Sorry. Everybody's a VIP to Singapore Airlines. We are trained from day one. Customer is always right. Nothing really is an issue within reason. Yeah. We thrive on customer service.
But there are always cases that test Michael's customer service skills. An economy passenger wants to take a very large piece of hand luggage on board.
We've checked our bags in, and now we've been told we can't take this on board. And I feel very upset about it.
They want to take a wedding dress on board the aircraft, but it's quite in a big box. And usually the crew are quite accommodating, but it's quite a full flight. So obviously the hanging space and the wardrobes is going to be required for the business class and suite class passengers, and they just won't communicate. They just won't take a no for an answer. So I said to my colleague, tell them to wait around until the crew come. We speak to the in-flight supervisor. If he agrees, no problem. You have to take it on board. If he doesn't, then unfortunately, it's going to have to be checked in.
This couple are travelling to Australia via a connecting flight in Singapore.
I'm very unhappy. I could cry at this point, actually. We're getting married while we're there. And I'm supposed to be really excited and happy now, and I feel gutted. It's the most important thing, isn't it? We went to a lot of thought to work out how it was going to be done, made the phone calls, think you've got it sorted, and then... I mean, that's the sort of size you would expect the box to be, or even like that. But...
See, we can only go by what you tell us.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but as I said,
and I asked,
you've been misled.
Of
course, and we will take it up to listen to the conversation, but it's not going to help us right now. So what we're trying to do is to try and find out if you can take it on board this flight, which we'll have to speak to the crew. Obviously, due to the time of the year, everything is busy. It's a full flight. I mean, you can see the queue. They're all business class.
Yeah, but that's not our problem,
no,
is it?
Absolutely.
That's your problem.
Yeah, sure. It's not your fault.
We don't know whether the flight's full or not. We weren't told on the phone, well, if the flight's full, you might have a problem.
Yeah, but that's
we were
why
told that's what we do. So
that's why I said it's not your fault. You've been misled. And I will investigate it.
So we'd like to get our bags checked in and get sorted, so, you know, we don't want to be hanging around.
OK, well, you can go, and then I'll speak to the crew at the aircraft, and then I will let you know when you're board. So if it's OK for you to take it on board, they will sort it, they will find space for you. If they say no, we will have to check it in.
I mean,
no,
make sure you put fragile signs on and everything.
Sure, yeah, we'll do that for you.
Handle
if we
care.
If we have to check it in, yes.
All right.
I'm going to pop them back in.
The passengers have decided to take their chances and will take the box to the boarding gate.
I can only do what I can do, and that is take the box on board physically and speak to the in-flight supervisor and try and see if it can help. I'm hoping it's going to be a happy ending.
In Terminal 3, water engineer John has worked out where the raw sewage leak began and wants to show Vic.
You can sort of treat Heathrow like a great big jungle gym, I suppose. But with a lot more health and safety involved. And the ball pits aren't as good, I find. No one ever comes down here. I'm probably first person down here for 20 years, I'd have thought. I've been in the service corridors before when all the lights have gone out. That's quite spooky. The old alien films and stuff like that start playing through your head because you just can't see in either direction. You've only got a little torch and you start hearing things. But, yeah. So there's lots of little spaces like this in the airport. This is just one of many. That pipe over there, I'm seeing the distance, the soil pipe for the toilet. That's the area where we've got to go a little bit further along. Follow this big black pipe behind us. Oh. There he is. Okay, mate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 paces, so... And it's got to be about 6 or 7 yards that way. Yeah, the smell detectors tracked it down in the end. Took a bit of finding, but done it. Actually, there's a light that works in here, not easy. It's just one of Heathrow's little hidden voids that you don't know it's even here until something starts leaking out of it.
I did leave a voicemail for them to come a little bit earlier to the gate, but I can't seem to see them, so...
The flight to Singapore closes in 15 minutes. Michael is on the lookout for the passengers with the wedding dress.
I hope they come quickly, because I need to get authority from the crew in charge if it's okay to accept the wedding dress on board the aircraft. Where are you off to? Singapore?
Brisbane.
Brisbane? All right for some. I'm sure they're going to be on the way because the flight is on last call at the moment. But I still can't see a wedding dress. Can't see a wedding box. You can't miss it, surely.
With time ticking, Michael's now worried that the passengers might not even make the flight.
My team.
Somebody call him.
Can you put a caller for 51 Hotel Juliet, please? 51 Hotel Juliet to make the way to the boarding gate ASAP, please. I want them here quickly. I want them here quickly. So I just put a call out for them on the tunnel to hear the message and hopefully speed themselves to the boarding gate. Yes, they're here. Okay, they're on the way. We've got them.
You didn't tell us that was a marathon, did you?
Did you get my voice call? I called you.
Yeah, but we just sat there.
Oh, God. Right, come over here. We're going to put them through this way now. Just, So, I'm going to speak to him. He's very nice. I'm hoping it's going to be okay, yeah? So, just wait for me here, and then I will come and get you, okay?
All right,
yeah?
thank you.
Okay, come with me.
There's just minutes to go until the flight closes. It's down to Michael to save the dress from travelling in the hold.
You don't really want to take your hands off it. I mean, it's your most precious thing, isn't it? Yeah, really important.
Harold, the IFS.
Harold. Hi.
Harold, this is the box. So this is the wedding dress that we are hoping you're going to give the clearance for us to keep you on board for the passenger.
Yeah, sure.
Is that all right with you?
Yes, it is.
You are amazing. Thank you so
No problem,
much.
yeah,
So I will tell them.
We'll do all for our customers as well.
I'll give you the seat number as well. So we never say no. Remember I said that? We always find an alternative. It's a teamwork, yeah? Ground staff, cabin crew, we work together, one big family. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll give you the seat numbers in a moment. Thanks a lot, Tuck.
Thank you very much.
It's a relief. Put it down to experience, eh?
Yeah?
All right, then, thank you very much.
Take care. All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, equal hands. Yeah, take care. Bye, take care.
Thanks to Michael, the dress has even been upgraded to business class.
I'm sure it will be okay, so yeah. Hi, Paul. How are you?
"24 million people take connecting flights through Heathrow every year. That's a third of the airport's passengers. On the other side of Terminal 2, Lewis is on his way to assist 95 passengers who are flying from Canada to Delhi via Heathrow.
Today we're meeting a flight from Toronto. It's a very, very, very tight connection. We've got an hour and 15 minutes to get from this terminal to Terminal 4 because they have to make a flight to Air India.
The connection is tight because the inbound flight is already an hour late.
The distances in terminals is phenomenal. It's, you know, we've got walkways and things like that, but the terminals have got so much bigger now, the planes are so much bigger, so, you know, if you have got a really tight connection, you're stuck. It's not there.
As Terminal 2 heads into its busy rush hour, there's still no sight of the Toronto flight.
Junaid, is it here?
If they don't make the connection, the airline will have to pay almost £35,000 to rebook the passengers onto a different flight. More work for Lewis's colleague, Junaid.
Rather than all connecting than me spending 3 extra hours rebooking every single one of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
With a further delay to the arrival of the flight, Lewis's connection window has just narrowed by a further 10 minutes.
Which which is very, very tight. We just have to wait and see. We've got people in Terminal 4 standing by, ready to ferry them straight to the gate as they come off the bus. So.
To be honest, I think this will miss.
Well, we'll find out because we'll follow them on the bus, so... How long will Air India wait? 15 minutes?
They've
got to go through security as well.
Yeah, they won't wait.
If the plane is delayed any further, there's no way the passengers will make their connection.
Fingers crossed.
Heathrow is host to 81 different airlines and their fleets of planes. Every time one lands, it's a battle against the clock to turn it around and get it back in the air where it can earn its keep.
We're just looking for any damage.
Engineer Nick has got just 1 hour before this plane needs to get back out to New York.
We check the tyres now, we check the lights, we check all the pitot probes and the sensors, and it's just to make sure that nothing untoward's happened during the flight. Well, you wouldn't want anything hanging off or missing, would you, now? Also, you've got to check around here. These are the critical areas, these are the sensors.
This plane requires 180,000 litres of fuel, all 14 tyres to be at a pressure of 210 psi, and 250 tray tables to be in full working order. There's a lot to do, and the job's just got harder.
One of the passengers has reported he's lost a diamond ring, so this is one of the non-routine tasks that we carry out, and that's to try and retrieve this passenger's property.
It's a rare Tiffany engagement ring worth over £10,000.
Keep our fingers crossed.
He said he dropped it down the side, but probably could go anywhere. The most common is phones, iPads. Normally in first class, so not back here.
The passenger is due to make his romantic proposal tomorrow.
I didn't take the box because it's huge, so I took the ring out, put it in my pocket, which I shouldn't have done. Yeah, I was supposed to propose to her. Well, hopefully it's still there.
You sure it's not in your pockets?
Yeah, 100% sure. I did.
What she's 14 out for?
Of course I feel sorry for him. He's going to propose, but he's got the worry now. He's here. He can't get on the aircraft. He can't help with the search. It'll be fine. It's actually not looking particularly good at the moment. But the cleaners come through here now, and they go through the fine-tooth comb. We're going to persevere. I've got to get down the cockpit now and go once over the book. So I'll head back there and see how the guys manage now. Okay?
He hasn't got a leg to stand on, has he, poor thing? Oh, bless him. First time round, isn't it? Oh.
Ring or no ring, Nick still needs to get the plane ready for departure.
Let's get a couple of hundred people in, buttoned down on these girls to get everything stowed. Friend tampering. Power port outlet, that's them as well. Seats being done. Got that into position. Okay. Oh! 30 seconds to spare. That's not bad, is it?
Turnaround's complete, but the ring was nowhere to be found.
The beacon's on. The trunk's connected. She's on pushback.
At Terminal 2, the 787 from Toronto has just landed, an hour and a half late. Customer Experience Manager Lewis is waiting to chaperone the 95 passengers to a connecting flight.
I'm starting to get a bit worried now because our connection time is down to probably 55 minutes now. I'm just hoping they're going to make the flight. The worst that can happen, they'll be rebooked for another flight, but that means their connections, because they're not all going to the same place, there'll be stopovers and connections within that, so it will make it very difficult for them. So.
The passengers might have arrived, but their Delhi flight is still 2 miles away in Terminal 4. As time is so tight, Lewis's colleague has taken drastic action.
Because of the time constraint, we've had a tarmac transfer. We call it a tarmac transfer. That's when the buses come over, and rather than us having to manually take them all the way across the terminal, then connect them to Terminal 4,
they go straight on
the
the
bus
bus.
come right at the tarmac by the aircraft, pick them up straight from here, take them straight across the T4.
That's brilliant.
Saves a lot of time and avoids having a lot of misconnects as
And
well.
it's better for you in a way, isn't it? Yeah.
It helps out a lot.
With just 45 minutes to take off, all the passengers have been put straight onto buses to get them to Terminal 4 as quickly as possible.
You all right, sir? Hello, guys. I'm extremely sorry your connection is very, very tight, but we're going to try our best to get you there. Yeah. Hyderabad? Hyderabad, okay. You going Hyderabad, man? Yes? No? English, little? We can't do any more than what we've done. So we'll just have to hope that they make their flight. Otherwise, they've got to come all the way back to this terminal to rebook.
Whilst the passengers race to make their flight, their luggage negotiates Heathrow's complex automated baggage system.
There isn't a connection solved that isn't achievable, as long as the aircraft are on time.
Brian helped manage this intricate operation.
On a busiest day, there'd be circa 35,000 transfer bags coming through Heathrow that have to have a logistic nightmare of having to come off an aircraft, be sorted out through a system, then being repatriated to go on an outbound aircraft. It's a hell of a lot that goes on.
There are more bags than passengers at Heathrow. Every day, 290,000 bags travel at up to 25 miles per hour through the tunnels.
Where you see the tin of baked beans in the supermarket get scanned and bleeped, the bags are going through that process. About every minute, there'll be a scanner that looks at that bag and will make a decision where it's got to go.
There are 30 miles of conveyor belts.
I don't think people would work here at Heathrow if you weren't passionate about it. And what happens when I want to go on holiday? What do I want to happen? Well, when I get to the swimming pool, I want to be able to put my budgie smugglers on, and I want them to be in my suitcase. It's very important to have the right budgie smugglers. Very important.
Buses carrying passengers transferring from Terminal 2 have arrived at Terminal 4 with just 25 minutes to spare. Now they have a long trek to the gate.
Please just carry straight on. We've got staff up there for you.
With 30 passengers needing wheelchair assistance, Lewis has called in colleague Vaz as reinforcement. If the passengers don't make this flight, they'll need to be rebooked onto another at the expense of the airline.
Okay, let's go.
At the gate, the first of the able-bodied passengers are boarding.
We're still waiting for another, probably 25 of them. Do you want to hand me your bag? Yeah? You all right?
Hi.
With seconds to spare, Vaz has ensured the final passenger has caught her flight.
I promise you that we'll make it. Lelo. I always give it to my passenger when they are happy, and I make them happy. I just give them a smile and give a sweets to them. Just keep them happy, you know. Just remember us when you reach there.
Okay, bye.
We've managed to get everybody on board, so with the help of everybody involved on reserve, we've done another good job.
Next time, there's a storm brewing at Heathrow.
The threat of ice will begin around 6 p.m.
Right, let's go. We've got to be very proficient and professional. We can't afford to get caught with our pants down.
Britain's border is lost in translation.
Do you speak English at all, sir? A little bit?
Not very.
Okay.
And check-in reaches meltdown.
We've got about 100 passengers left to check in 45 minutes. The heat is going to be on in a bit when it starts building up.
So you've agreed to pay, but now you don't want to pay? Okay, so you're wasting time, aren't you?